The most misleading number in Age of Empires MOBA is not your power. It's the number everyone else look at first. Think about how often this is happening. You scout another player, you see your few million power, you see his few million power below you. You first thought, okay, this should be an easy fight. Then 20 seconds later, you're staring at battle report, wondering what just happened. I have this happening to me the more times I like to admit. And eventually I realized something. Power doesn't tell you how strong an account is. It tells you how much stuff an account owns. Those aren't the same things. For a long time, I judge account exactly the same way. Higher power means stronger account. Lower power means easy target. It seems obvious. After all, why else would the game display that number so prominently? The problem is power counts everything. It doesn't tell you whether those resources are actually making you stronger in combat. You can have millions of power sitting in place that barely affect the fight you're about to take. Meanwhile, another player can have lower power, but nearly every investment they have made improve the combat. That's when I start asking a different question. If power isn't showing me the combat strength, what is? And I'm going to give you one example when I attack a low power player, expecting an easy win, then I actually meet pretty solid resistance. And after going over how this happened, checking out my heroes and etc., something that I noticed is, first of all, his heroes was like 5 stars. At this point of time, I was having my Lubu, which is 3-star. I was having a Tiwa 1-star, and I was having Zhao Yun 5-star. Basically, with this Legion, I was actually striking this guy. And I saw his power was like, I think 5 million under me. So how this happened? It's pretty simple. Just his heroes was having better rings, is having the more stars, is having everything else. But how his account was more power from mine, in same time his Legion, even in the buffs, you can see it in the buffs, and everything else, he was having more solid account. And this remind me back in the days when I get the same feeling, and that was when I spread my investments over multiple heroes, expecting some crazy results, but I faced a player who was having less power from me. He invests heavily in one legion and basically destroyed my legion. So I was having some deja vu, because at first the enemy is looking low power, but in the same time he actually invests everything in one legion, and I spread everything in like 3 legions. So yeah, the first thing I started paying attention was the technology. Not because it's exciting, honestly. It's one of the least exciting thing to look at. But technology quietly improve almost everything your troops do. Health, defense, attack, damage reduction, march performance. The funny thing is, 2 players can look almost identical from the outside. Then you compare their technology, suddenly one account starts making a lot more sense. The stronger player wasn't stronger because of the higher power, they were stronger because nearly every troop they fielded was benefiting from better research. That's invisible on the profile picture, but you definitely feel it in the battle. So when you go out, especially in the fights, now when you go over the legions, yeah, it's hard to tell how much power is having one dude, but you can clearly just click on somebody, you're going to see this thing here, this power, but you don't know what is inside here. You don't know, it's like 6 million, but what is this 6 million built from? It can be from leveling heroes, it can be just a lot of tavern summonings and getting all the tavern heroes. It can be anything. It can be fake power boosting. But yeah, this is basically a real account showcase where I cannot absolutely see what this guy is doing. Absolutely same with this one. Here you can see some achievements like leading players percentage or something like this. But this one is looking solid, but at the end of the day, you see just the number. You basically only see one number on the battlefield. Then I start noticing something else: gear quality. Most players ask, do they have legendary gear? I don't think that's the important question anymore. The better question is, how good is that gear actually? Refinement, enhancement, set bonuses, small percentage improvements that don't look dramatically individual, but when you stock enough of them together, your entire account feels different. And this is, for the small things. For example, yeah, I don't have anything here right now. I just have like troop gathering speed 0.6%. This is a green one. But yeah, when you stockpile those things, it's more percentage. But at the end of the day, they stack up and they build very nice account, very nice boost. On top of that, you can obviously, level up. You're going to get some cavalry defense bonus. Small boost here, small boost there. Is stockpile. It's just stockpile, and is bringing the end results. It's not a single thing. It's many small things. So yeah, that's why two players wearing similar gear can produce completely different reports. The equipment looked the same, the investment behind it wasn't. Then I thought, maybe technology and gear explain everything, except they don't. Because I keep finding accounts that still surprise me. That's when I start looking beyond permanent upgrades: buff formation, mercenaries, troop composition, hero synergy. All those things can dramatically change the outcome of the fight without changing your power at all. Think about for a second. Some of the strongest advantage in the game don't even appear in the number most players use to judge the opponent. No wonder we are misjudging so many fights. The more I play it, the more I stop trying to estimate strength from one number. Instead, I start building a checklist: technology, hero stars, ring quality, castle progression, formation, mercenaries, buffs, hero synergy. Suddenly, I wasn't asking who is stronger. I was asking, where is this account actually strong? That's a much more useful question, because not every account is dangerous in the same way. Some have incredible survivability, others explode with damage or so-called glass cannons. Some dominate rallies, others shine only in open field. Power hides those differences. The details reveal them. That's also changed how I start looking at my own account. For a long time, watching my power increase feel like a progress. And to be fair, I even have videos on my channel where, I was like, I'm going to try to double my power. Everything was about the power, around the power. And sometimes it was, but not always. There were upgrades that barely changed my combat performance. Then there were other investments that barely moved my power, yet completely changed how my account performed in real fights. That's when I stopped chasing bigger numbers. I start chasing stronger battles, because that's the only measurement that really matter. And I'm going to give you an investment that barely increase my power and have massive impact over my performance in the combat. And that was actually Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun was the third hero I actually get for my Lubu Legions. It was Lubo Atiwa Guan Ui. Right now it's Lubo Atiwa Zhao Ui. So what actually changed here? From first look, I make this hero 5-star. I invest in this hero, but you can get the same amount of power just by going. And I'm going to share with you from where you can get the same power, and even more. It's just going in the tavern, making I don't know, right now I'm going to make one free summon, and we're going to go get Leon. I'm going to make like 50 summons. Most likely I'm going to get some legendary hero. As you can see, I'm just going to skip this. Okay, we're going to get this one. Please don't give me more legendaries. So see how many tokens I'm going to receive right now, just by 50 summons. So all these summons, if I go and level up each of these heroes, they're going to give me some extra power that at one point is not going to be, it's going to be less from what I get from Zhao Yun, because I spent a lot of tokens to make this hero 5-star. But at the end of the day, it's not something crazy. In the same time, I have also buildings, I have also researchers, mercenaries, so many things. I have so many things that is boosting the power. But Zhao Yun was the thing that changed my combat performance, and at the same time didn't actually change my power that much. I don't say don't give power, but it was not something noticeable at the end of the day. Eventually, I realized something that completely changed how I scout opponents. Power is useful. I mean, it's completely different. I mean, if you go outside and you're trying to you're trying to see, obviously this one that's carrying 6 million is going to be less powerful from this guy who is carrying like 95 million. Okay, so power is useful. It's just uncompleted. It's like judging a book by its weight. A heavier book might contain more pages. It doesn't automatically contain better ideas. Accounts work the same way. More power often means more progression. It doesn't automatically mean more combat strength. The strongest account aren't always the one with the highest numbers. They are usually the one with where every important system is working together. Technology supports heroes, hero support formation, formation support troop composition, buffs multiply everything else. That's a hidden strange. And hidden strange wins a lot more fights. And looking back, I don't think power is a bad statistic, for sure. I think it's simply the wrong statistic to rely on by itself. Because once you stop asking how much power does this player have, and start asking where is this player real strength coming from, you begin seeing fights completely different. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest mindset shift you can make in Age of Empire Mobile.